All right, it's 7 o'clock. I'm gonna call the meeting to order. If everybody would stand up, we're gonna have a moment of silence followed by the pledge of allegiance. All right. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, can I get a call, roll call?
Mr. Morgan.
Here.
Mr. Davis.
Here.
Ms. Fitzhugh.
Here.
Ms. Sanders. Here. Mr. Gillum.
Here.
Mr. Lane.
Here.
All right. Item 3 is our public comment. Before we begin, I'd like to welcome the public for coming out tonight. I'm going to go over the public comment process. Comments are limited to items on the agenda to be voted on this evening. You'll be given 5 minutes. When you hear the chime, your time is expired. When you come up, please state your name and your address prior to speaking for the record. All comments should be directed toward me as the chair. Remember, the public comment section is an opportunity for us to hear your thoughts. It's not a question and answer system. It's just for us to hear what you're thinking. So if you have any additional questions afterwards, I would have asked you to talk to a board member after the meeting or talk to one of your school system employees to voice your concerns and ask for more information. That being said, I've got Mr. Tyler West. You got 5 minutes, sir.
I won't need but 1 or 2. This applies to the maintenance of the buildings in the ESSER 33 or 3.0. I have significant doubt upon the management of the maintenance department, not the maintenance department itself. It's the management of the maintenance department. There are known bad repairs upon things that he's done in previous life that makes me question his ability to make sure repairs are made correctly at the schools. I've heard personal quotes that says he did what he was forced to do because he wasn't paid enough to do it in a previous job. And I'm just concerned about the repairs of the schools, make sure they're getting done correctly. I know the maintenance department's been with the county for a long, long time. And a lot of them were here when I was in this school and at North Stewart. And I just wanna make sure everything gets done properly. And that's all I've got to say.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, I've got Audrey Jensen.
Hello, Audrey Jensen, 502 NAT4. I was also going to speak on ESSER. So I've kind of been tracking ESSER for the last 2 or 3 years, and I just recently saw some things that raised some eyebrows, and I know we're towards the end of that in the remaining funds. My 2 major concerns is the community engagement and also how the money has been spent and is allocated to be spent. So as far as community engagement is concerned, I was able to find 1 Facebook post from the school system from July of 2021 for a survey. I did bring this up in the past, about a year ago, I think, brought up that we have not been engaging the community. I still have a ton of questions, and I'm somebody that did my research, and it's complicated, and the community is not aware of this. What we're reporting to the state that what we've done is not accurate. It says in the last report for the public spending, the remaining funds, it says that every student has filled out a survey. They have not. Compared to our other surrounding counties and their engagement, we are significantly lower. Do you want to know why? They held town meetings. They did virtual meetings. They did educational videos people could watch when they needed to. we haven't had the community input for these very large decisions that we should have community input. That's part of ESSER. It was one of the main things they pushed was community input. And we have a community that is at high need. We have high needs. We are the second county, how am I gonna phrase this? We have the most kids that go into DCS custody per capita in Tennessee. We're second to that. We put $0 for disadvantaged students or economically disadvantaged when we have 24% rate of being economically disadvantaged. For social emotional, we got one school family liaison that serves 2 schools. So what about the other 2? They don't get those services and support? This just doesn't make sense. And so a lot of that, the decisions that have been made up to this point, if they had community input, I don't think they'd be the same. I was under the impression that those smart boards, interactive boards, were $130,000, but I realized on the columns and the thing, it goes to over farther. So it's $1.3 million we spent on those. 24% of our funds, out of the $5 million. And we have schools that need new roofs, buckets from 3 years ago when I was at Centerstone at North Stewart, where I had to use buckets. And we get a windfall of money in ESSER 2. We decide to spend $1.3 million in smart boards for a roof that can't even protect them. And these are the teaching conditions for our teachers. And our teachers that we polled were only like 72 teachers out of how many. Did they all say, let's get a smart board? That's what we need? Forget the roof? Our air quality issue was going on way before this, isn't new. But during a pandemic, wouldn't you think the first thing we would address, the highest need, would be air quality? We did have a 504 coordinator, but within the last, 2 years, that's been absorbed to a 504 coordinator and a special education coordinator. That is not okay to do to our employees. That one person cannot fill both those jobs. Our ratios are the same, there's not an increase in teachers, and we spent $15,000, 0.3% of our money to SPED when the surrounding counties I checked, they don't have as high of, well, right around there, they don't have as high a percentage of students that are in special education, but they spent more of their money on it, and guess how many administrative complaints they got last year? 0. So this is why community input needs to be done. And one last thing, it is required that each district contact one civil rights organization. And we have not. And I'm telling you, if a civil rights organization came in, they'd be like, you need to put more money towards SPED. You need to put more money at the at-risk students. But, who are making these decisions? Like, I really want to know, who proposed to buy $1.3 million smart boards in a district that's desperately in need, and we don't even have buildings to protect our assets? What's going to happen when the rainstorm comes in and, oh, there goes a $7,000 smart board? It just doesn't make sense. And the fact that we don't have discussions at these meetings and we just say, all right, let's all agree, is concerning. The fact that not all of the email addresses and phone numbers are updated on the school website to contact the board members is concerning. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Jensen. All right, the next item is item 4. And item 4 is the corrections or additions and approval of the agenda. So, can I I'll ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Lamb.
Second.
Second by Mr. Gillum. Any discussion on the approval of the agenda? All those in favor of adopting the agenda as it is, say aye, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Those opposed, no. All right, the yeses have it. All right, item number 5 is we had, our District 6 board member, Ms. Candace Jones, resigned, between the last, meeting and this meeting. And we need to accept her resignation, so I would ask for a motion to accept her resignation.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Fitzhugh,
Second.
second by Mr. Lamb. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor of accepting her resignation, say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. All right, the yeses have it. All right, item number 6 is the approval of the minutes. You have the copies of November 17 and, January 2nd minutes in your packets that was delivered earlier last week. Can I get a motion for, the approval? I'll ask for a motion for approval of the minutes.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Gillum, second by Ms. Sanders. Is any objections or corrections to the minutes as they were, delivered? All right, all those in favor of adopting or the approval of the minutes, signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes, those opposed, no. All right, the yeses have it. The next item number 7 is the consent agenda. That includes the fundraisers and field trips. I'll ask for a motion for approval of the consent agenda. Motion by Ms. Sanders,
Second.
second by Mr. Lamb. Director Craig, you wanna explain any of the trips?
The trips are the same trips that our, high school groups take for, CTE conventions, and, they go on these every year. Both of them are in Chattanooga.
Criminal justice, is that something new?
No, we've had that program for a few years.
Years now.
They've started in the past 2 or 3 years going on this trip for the convention.
This is our state conference.
Yeah, state conference.
Is there any other questions about the consent agenda? Okay, all those in favor of adopting the consent agenda, signify by saying yes. Yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. All right, the yeses have it. Item number 8 is approval of budget amendments, and, actually, I'm gonna break these out into 2, so, we'll be talking about, the general 141, budget. So can I get a take the motion after the discussion? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and have, them discuss the 141 general.
You want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
141 are the general amendments, and if you have specific questions, Mr. Gwynn, Finance Director, can answer them. There's only one of these amendments, and that's the, 4th one on the first page that comes from the fund balance. The others are moving money within the lines to make adjustments. During this time of the year, we always have salary adjustments we have to make. But the 4th one is, we'll hit the fund balance for $13,500. We're gonna be doing some additional testing in all the schools on our air quality, and that will be, I believe that's gonna be starting to take place next week, once the money to do this is approved.
Mike, what kind of additional testing?
We're just gonna have testing in every building, where we're gonna test air quality for CO2, mold, and all those things.
Okay.
All right, I'll ask for a motion for approval of, the 141 general budget amendments.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Lamb,
Second.
second by Mr. Dacus. Let's get a roll call on that, Madam Secretary.
Ms. Fitzhugh?
Yes.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
Mr. Lamb?
Yes.
Mr. Morgan?
Yes.
Mr. Dacus?
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and you can discuss 142.
These are the, federal, amendments. Dr. Duncan, do you wanna talk about any of these?
Yeah, on the Title I, Title II, and Title IV amendments, we received our final FY '23 allocations after the January board meeting. It was somewhere around the middle of January, so those 3 amendments are just the adjustments to the final allocations. And then I have the notes there for the ESSER 3 amendments. You know, the math textbooks, the quotes that we started receiving were slightly a little more expensive than we originally allocated back a year and a half ago, so I'm making some adjustments for there. And then the CTE Perkins amendment, Ms. Bagan, I think, had to purchase a few more OSHA 10 tests for her certifications than she originally thought, therefore she needed to move some more additional funds into supplies. And Ms. Robin can speak on first
Same,
ed.
yes, same situation with me, allocations came in after the last board meeting, so I, budgeted these out to cover salaries and, benefits, so hopefully I won't have to do more adjustments later.
Alright, can I get a motion to, accept the 142 federal budget amendments?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Fitzhugh,
Second.
second by Ms. Sanders. Any more discussion about those? Alright, Madam Secretary, can I get another roll call on these?
Mr. Dacus,
Yes.
Ms. Fitzhugh,
Yes.
Ms. Sanders,
Yes.
Mr. Gillum,
Yes.
Mr. Lamb,
Yes.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes. Alright, item number 9 is the approval of math textbooks, the adoption of those. Can I get a motion for us to, the approval of the math textbooks adoption?
Bobby, I do have a question about that before we do that. Mike, I was going through these on the 9-12 Cengage calculus for AP. Was there not another option that was state approved, or is that the only option that we had for that course?
AP classes, they do not put a text for dual enrollment or AP classes on the state approved list.
So you just go
So
through,
you-
the committee
yes.
goes through and picks what they felt was best?
Yes, and that's the Stewart calculus, AP calculus book that's pretty universally used, so.
Thank you for clarifying that.
So, yeah, I'll ask for a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion for approval.
Motion by Ms. Fitzhugh,
Second.
second by Mr. Lamb. Is there any more discussion on the math textbooks? I did notice that there was a wide range of, math teachers that.
We have a big committee, across all grade bands, including, our supervisor of instruction and our math coaches. And, all of them on there are veteran teachers, and they did a great job vetting everything and going through, and as you can see, they chose different things, but they feel pretty, just talking to the math teachers, they feel real good about being able to have these materials finally that align with the standards that the state has set forth. So, we'll be spending a chunk of our ESSER 3 money on purchasing the textbooks.
All right, any more discussion? All right, all those in favor of adopting or approval of the math textbooks adoption, signify by saying yes. Yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. All right, the yeses have it. All right, item number 10 is discussion and approval of ESSER 3.0 public plan. I'll ask for a motion to, adopt that, for the approval of that plan. Motion by Mr. Gillum,
Second.
second by Mr. Dacus. All right, discussion. Mr. Craig, if you wanna go over some of that?
Well, this is our plan that we've had out there. This is just the end of it. We have to do this every 6 months, correct, Dr. Duncan?
Yes, sir.
Have to have it, go back and revisit it. I will point out that we are going to spend, on the facilities out of ESSER 3 funds, I believe it's 1.3 million. And a big portion of that, in fact, the vast majority of that's gonna go to making improvements at North Stewart Elementary in terms of air handlers, and looking at, that'd be what the ESSER part will cover mostly, that part of it. We'll try to answer any questions you have, but this is a plan that we've had out there, for over a year. And we're going through having to make sure that we, get it reviewed and approved by the board as the law requires.
Mike, the only question I had about I know we talked about the air handlers, and you said that there could be up to 20 weeks or so. This money, the ESSER money has to be spent by next
By the
summer,
end
correct?
by the end of the year, next
Okay.
year, 24.
Okay, so we shouldn't have a problem
No.
getting all that taken care of.
No.
Any more questions, any more discussion?
Mike, do you think this amount will do the improvements that's needed at North Stewart?
We believe so, and then we'll have to, if there's more besides what we do at North Stewart, we'll have to fund that ourselves. We do have a fund balance, we're looking at, if we have to spend more than that, we'll have to dip into that, and, hopefully not have to ask the county for any new money.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
I have one more, Mike, I'm sorry. I know this is not something we're doing right this second, but with TRANE, will any of the improvements you think will help with that, with North Stewart through them, that will save us some money?
What the plan is next month, our next board meeting, TRANE's gonna have their presentation, like the contract that we have with them said, that they would present to the board. Plan on having a work session where everybody can ask questions. They're gonna go through and make their recommendations. A big piece of that we focused on, and we've asked them to focus on, is North Stewart Elementary, because it's the school with the most needs.
Right.
And there's always room for improvement, and we're working very hard for going forward, and we've been doing this since I became director, preventative maintenance plans, and trying to, as we can, take care of the issues that are utmost important. And that's why when y'all approved TRANE to do the investment grade audit, a few months ago, the idea was that the experts could help us, tell us what we need to do, and then we could prioritize how we wanna do it. But the final decision will be, after that, what the board votes to do. That my recommendation is going to be, to put the priority B on that school since it needs it the most.
Thank you, Mike.
Any more questions? All
I
right,
have one more.
go ahead.
And I know it's not North Stewart, but I know at the beginning of the year, there seemed to be a lot of dampness and moistness here at the high school in some of the classrooms. Has that been corrected?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That was issues with the chillers.
Okay.
And just the new chillers we put in last year here, where we spent, I think it's $500,000 putting in 2 new chillers. Was just getting the adjustments done. But I have not had anything reported to me of major moisture. Anytime you have a building and an air conditioner goes out, or you have a breakdown, there's gonna be moisture. The key is getting it dried out, and that's what we do. We approach it like that. So those issues, they have not been reported to me if we ever have any more.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? I'm gonna ask for a roll call on this one.
Mr. Lamb,
Yes.
Mr. Morgan,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Fitzhugh,
Yes.
Ms. Sanders, Mr. Gillum.
Yes.
All right, item number 11 is the discussion and approval of the JUUL lawsuit settlement. I'll ask for a motion to approve the JUUL lawsuit settlement.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Lamb. Second by Ms. Sanders. All right, discussion? Charles, you wanna explain what this was?
Basically, the JUUL side of that lawsuit, so it's got Altria, which is the Philip Morris, and then you got JUUL, which is the one that most people know as the vaping company. They settled that side, the school board will get $12,333. Doesn't sound like a lot, but, that's more collateral money. They're really after the Ultra, which is Philip Morris, which has got a lot more money. The school should receive like 50% by the end of this year, and then they'll get 12% every year after that. This all started in 2020. probably would've got a significant amount of more money, but we got in late, so we did get some, so some's better than none, and we're still in the running for the Ultra lawsuit, which is supposed to be a lot larger. The funds will be unrestricted, so it'll be up to the board to allocate how they wanna use those. And then we should hear more on the Altria lawsuit, hopefully midsummer. And then did you wanna?
Yeah, I'll talk about that in the new
And that's
business.
really all I've got, as long as you got a motion to accept it as a board, then we'll be good.
Any questions about that?
And when I say we've got more, the judge appointed like a referee to go through and determine who should get what. And one of the biggest determinators was when they got in and how big the school district is, so, LA County in California got a large portion of this, but again, they never expected JUUL to be a large sum of money for individual schools, but Altria is the one that they're really after, so. That's all I got, unless there's questions.
All right, is there any questions about that?
Did you say 12% after the first year?
Yes,
50%
yes,
the first year,
50%
then 12%
each year
after that,
until we
okay.
get the full 12.
I have that right.
If it tells you anything about when we got in, we would've got well over 100,000 probably if we'd have got in 2020, so.
Any other questions? All right, I'm gonna ask for a roll call for the money.
Mr. Gillum.
Yeah.
Mr. Lamb.
Yes.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Mr. Dacus.
Yes.
Ms. Fitchue.
Yes.
Ms. Sanders.
Yes.
All right, item number 12 is new business. There wasn't anything marked down for new business, but I will, say that on your desk, you have a, packet that was delivered by Mr. Parks. And I'll let him explain what that is entailing. We're not gonna do anything with it tonight, but, it's just information only, so.
Yeah, this is for you just to review so you can vote on in the April meeting, but it's a retainer agreement with this same law firm. Their class action suing, Meta, which is Facebook, Google, YouTube, and TikTok over social bullying and social media effects on children. So they expect this one to be a big lawsuit as well. It's up to the schools if you wanna get involved. That's why I mentioned it before with the JUUL. The earlier you get in, the better chance you got to get more money. I don't have a ton on it, besides, I think everybody in here can say it's affected probably themselves and their children, so, the main thing is the social bullying is what they're after, so. And it'll be a 25% agreement as well, which that law firm gets, not me, so.
So that's just information for y'all to take home, and you will vote on it to whether we're gonna get in it in April.
If you've got a lot of detailed questions before the April meeting, I would just ask you to get with me before, because I'll have to get with them to make sure I can answer it correctly.
All right. Item number 13 is the director's report.
I just have one thing I'd like to say tonight. As everybody knows, we suffered a terrible tragedy, last week before last, lost one of our students at the middle school. I just wanna ask everybody to, it's really affected our system, our staff, our students. I'd like for everybody just to make sure that we, keep the young man's family and friends in their prayers. I also ask that you keep our administrators and our faculty and staff and all the students at SCMS in your prayers. Because this is not something that's being, taken lightly. It's affected all of us. I've been at the middle school every day since this incident happened, and I see how hard our administrators are working to help kids deal with this, and we're gonna continue to do that. And, I ask for also that you keep everybody in our prayers and just a little bit of grace towards everyone, because it has been a tough situation. We're working through it, and we wanna do everything we can to make sure that something like that doesn't happen again. And, it's just a sad thing for us, and I don't wanna bring in the meeting on a bad note, but it's just been on my mind, and on my heart, and, just understand that we're gonna get through it together. We have a great school system, and I think that with the community's help and support, we're all gonna be okay. And, that's basically all I have tonight. Yeah, Father.
Thank you. Item 14 is announcements. Does any board member have anything they wanna discuss, anything to bring up?
I would like to ask something if Mike, actually I talked to Mike, but I had gotten a call after. The engineering program at the high school, is it going to, or is it gonna be for next year? Or is it something that's gonna continue?
Engineering.
The Kevin Hargis program.
We're phasing that into more manufacturing and machining.
Okay, cause I've had several questions that I couldn't answer, so I felt like, you know.
If they start that path, we'll be able to finish the classes in that, but it's more, we've got a lot of new equipment, and with the new, innovative high school grant, the direction's more towards, the new machining and manufacturing.
So it's just not gonna be something, it's just not gonna fade away, something else is gonna be an
Yes,
improvement
yeah,
for the class?
We're not
Okay.
going to phase out
Okay.
any program in CTE.
Okay, thank you for
That would be more
clearing
of
that.
Tim and it'd be, Kevin and.
Oh, I don't wanna get into
I
specifics,
got
who's
you.
gonna
Yeah.
teach what, cause we haven't set the schedule.
Right,
for
well,
next
that
year,
was
but-
just, I know he was teaching, and there was some teachers saying, some
He made
some
it-
parents was telling me what a good teacher he was, and you know how rumor is
Mhm.
in the county, you know, oh, they're gonna do away with all of that, and so I felt like it would be a good time for you to
We've
clear
got-
that up
you know,
and.
We've got a lot of equipment that's
Okay.
been purchased through grants, and not out of our funds, just through grants, CTE grants, and we're
Mhm.
even gonna purchase more. It's just we're kind of refocusing what we're doing to make it where kids can, we're hoping to eventually have where a student can leave our school and have some certifications to go right into the workplace, because that's where industrial maintenance and machining and manufacturing are the areas that we've seen, and with the statistics we've been showing by Workforce Essentials, where people are gonna they need those workers. We're trying to line up with what is in need.
Thank you.
Alright, anything else? Alright, item 15 is adjournment. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Ms.